Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Conversation Is podcast. I'm here with Joshy Boy.
I'm back once again.
Again, this is like episode 69, right?
Mm-hmm. Something like that. It's been a while.
What are we doing?
We are doing Joker today. I was about to say the Joker, but it's not the Joker.
It's just Joker. Yeah. Directed by Todd Phillips, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote that with Scott Silver as well.
Nice.
Who's worked on a few DC
films before.
Well, no, he actually hasn't. No, I think it's the wrong person. No, he worked on X-Men Origins Wolverine. So
okay, so that's not a great start.
No, I confused him with David S. Goyer. You know, the guy who wrote like Batman v Superman.
Oh yeah.
He's like written like every comic book film pretty much.
Was this produced by Bradley Cooper as well?
Yeah, it was
going
to be produced by Martin Scorsese as well.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, Stars Born. Just had to watch the other day.
Fair.
Good film. Anyway, I just want to ask you, what do you think of this film, just as a whole? Like, what's your?
You don't want to know what I think of this film.
That's why you're doing it, because I want to know.
I think it was a good film. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I think Joaquin Phoenix, Oscar worthy. I don't think it's as good as people made it out to be.
A little overrated.
I think it's a little bit overrated. I think I'd still give it like a 7.5, 8 out of 10. Like, which is like a respectable score. I don't think it's a masterpiece though.
No? I don't think it's a masterpiece. Well, it's not really a masterpiece, though, is it?
No, like it isn't. There's a few. I have a few gripes here.
I probably agree with you on that. Like, I mean, the first thing for that is obviously the story, isn't it? So, you know, there's bits that don't need to be in there that feel a bit kind of forced. The
Wayne family were too heavily involved in the story.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Oh, definitely, yeah, hands down.
And the reshoot at the end, which fair play to you. You noticed it was a reshoot when we were first watching it in the cinema. You were like, "That's a reshoot straight away." It was the Wayne murder, which didn't need to be in there. Yeah. No,
and I'll tell you for why. It's for me, it just felt weird because like the entire film, he's in every. You know, Arthur's pretty much in every shot, almost. You know,
and then the one scene that he isn't in is the Wayne murder.
Yeah, it's the longest scene that I think he's not in, or not at least in a frame.
Yeah,
because it's a huge character. You know,
well, the story follows everything that he does.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
And it focuses on just him. There's no one. It's
literally just him.
He is the focus of the film, and that's like. You don't get a lot of them, like Taxi Driver's one as well. That's why
he's in like 99% of the film.
You could see the influence from Taxi Driver in this film.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's kind of the same film, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say apparently. So there's like an original ending of the hospital scene.
Right.
So he's in hospital, he laughs and chuckles and says, "Oh, I was thinking of something funny." And what was supposed to happen was you flash back to the death of Thomas and Martha Wayne, and it was him killing Thomas and Martha Wayne, and the boy was screaming and crying. And he turned to walk away, and he turned back, shrugged, and shot the kid. And that's the credits. So they don't show it doing the riots. He kind of recaps, and then there's like a flashback of him. What do you think of that, though? Would that have been better?
Do you know what? When you were originally saying that, I was like, no, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. Why? If it would be even worse if it was him who killed. And
then you let me finish the sentence,
and then
you realise,
he kills Bruce Wayne as well. And I was like, that would have been fucking great.
Yeah,
that would have been amazing
because that would have taken the entire Wayne.
Yeah, it would have changed it completely.
Batman does not exist anymore.
Yeah, it would have been an amazing way to just make it a solo film.
Yeah,
that would have been like could have been the closure that we needed.
I'm not sure that's what Kevin Smith said on Fat Man Beyond. He said that was a pioneer alleged alternate ending for Joker. It would have been bleaker, obviously.
That would have been amazing.
I think that would have been.
Oh my god.
I think there could be a version of that out there. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe there is like I'm not going to go on like a Phillips cut, like the Snyder cut kind of thing, but you know, release the goddamn Phillips cut. I need to see this. I need to see him shooting, you know, the Waynes. And
but it's not just that it's the Waynes, it's Bruce as well, because at that point it completely cuts it off from the rest of the Batman world. And it becomes its own like standalone story, and it becomes stronger as a standalone story because
that way then the whole Thomas Wayne situation as well makes a lot more sense.
But it's like, and it's also like
because he obviously killed everyone who kind of wronged him in his own mind throughout the film. You know, he left a few people.
But then it stops us from expecting the rest of the story to be, the rise of Batman and how Bruce Wayne comes up.
Because then obviously
changes our expectations for if they were to do a sequel, or changes our expectations of what we think happens after the film's events. And it makes it a stronger film for it because it's completely separate from the original Batman universe.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
And it would have launched that whole DC Dark universe. That,
exactly. You didn't need Batman in that shit.
No, I don't need Batman. But I think a whole villain thing.
I think they could have even just left it at that. Like that would have been an amazing standalone film.
Oh yeah.
Like
it is an amazing standalone film, and I'll tell you for why. Because I'm going to believe that's the ending.
What? Regardless of what happens now. Something else. You realise they're gonna. Haven't they already announced they're gonna do a second one?
Yeah, they have. I
just don't know. Where do you think they'd go from there?
I mean, at this point, Batman could still exist, so they could go down the route of like fucking Joaquin Phoenix having a cameo in the Batman. So like the Batman Rob Pattinson is set in like the 90s.
Yeah.
So obviously this was set in 1981, so that could be set 15 years later. So he's been incarcerated for 15 years.
How old is he meant to be at this point, though?
I think he's supposed to be like 30-ish.
Because that's 30 at a stretch.
I know,
because Joaquin Phoenix is like 50,
40,
isn't he?
He's 45. I think Joaquin Phoenix is.
And he looks considerably older.
Yeah,
than
he's 45.
Yeah.
He just turned 45.
He looks considerably older than he actually is.
In this, I'd give him like 35 at a push.
Oh no, I'd say he's like 45.
I think it's because he hasn't got the beard. But
I feel like he has to be like 40,
that means
45.
That means he could play 45-year-old then because he'd look 45. It's not like an Irishman situation where it's like considerably awful CGI for Robert De Niro.
If he
like
actually is meant to be 30,
old.
I can kind of see it because then 15 years later will make Bruce. I don't know how old Bruce was meant to be.
Well,
in this.
I think
he's meant to be about
Bruce
10
is about 10. So if you think about
technically
it, right?
he could be 25 fighting 45-year-old Joker.
There could be a theory. It's not going to get made, but this could make sense if they wanted to go down this route. So like the Batman.
Yeah.
And obviously Rob Pattinson is clearly going to be playing like a younger Bruce Wayne. He's what, like 27, 28? I was thinking, what if he's playing a 25-year-old Bruce Wayne, all right, and it's set in the 90s, so maybe 1996? That would make it 15 years after 1981, yeah? So the Joker could appear in this kind of timeline then.
Do you know what I also...
Because that would kind of match up as well.
Do you know what I don't think would match up, though? The tone of this film wouldn't work for a Batman film, for me.
No.
I think you'd have to change so much about how the film plays out if it was to be a Batman film with the Joker in it. Or
I think that boils down to a lot of the cinematography in this film, though, because there's a lot of handheld kind of footage which puts you like, right in. It's a lot of close-ups of Arthur as well.
Yeah, but this is...
And the
this
Batman
is
a lot of action shots, there's a lot of wide shots.
But you can... What I'm saying is you can do a realistic take of the Joker like this, and it's kind of like, grounded in reality.
Yeah.
And, it's something that is relatable to real life, whereas Batman, you can't really do that because it's a guy, running around the city in a suit with bat ears on it, fighting people, flying from rooftop to rooftop. Like, it's just not the same. You wouldn't be able to do it. The Joker you can have as a normal person.
I'll tell you who
in a
could
normal
get
story.
that. Robert Rodriguez would do a great Batman film.
Fuck's sake.
I'd pay to see that.
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez Batman film. Please get that made. We need that right now. Acting though, like, how good is Joaquin Phoenix?
Joaquin Phoenix is the only one you can really talk about in extensive detail because he's the only one in all of the film.
And that's what I mean.
Yeah, and he's
Joaquin Phoenix,
and he's great. He's brilliant. I like just the physicality of it as well because I think that's something that a lot of actors forget about. Is how you portray someone like their physicality. Like, he's very cartoonish. When he takes his shirt off and his shoulders all like fucking bent
bony,
and shit. Yeah, that's like proper cartoonish, and I like it because it's like it shows how it looks in a real life setting.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't think he's a method actor as well,
isn't he?
I'm not sure. I don't think he is method. He's not one of like
he's not a crackhead, no.
Yeah.
In fact, no, he kind of is, but he's not that kind of crackhead.
I believe in method acting. I think it's a good concept.
But you have to be a crackhead to do it.
Yeah, you got to be a crackhead. I mean, you have to be able to do wheelies,
what was Jared Leto doing when he was playing
he was
sending like dead rats to people,
and like dildos,
and you're just at that point you're just like, you're not even method.
Use condoms. Was it his jizz in there? Who knows? It could be the rats.
It's like
knowing Jared
it's
Leto.
like, are you really method acting at that point, or are you just being a douchebag and blaming it on the character you're
there
playing?
there was a thing actually, funny enough, with Robert Pattinson on the set of The Lighthouse, and apparently he was like, I think he was pissing his pants a lot. I think there's a scene in the film where he's like cuddling up to Willem Dafoe, and I think he's like really close to fucking like being sick, like he's trying to make himself get sick for some reason, and Willem Dafoe can like smell, like the bath in and all that. And he's just like, if he doesn't stop, I'm walking out.
I feel like they only do that because they now realise that they can probably be slightly unacceptable, but just because they're playing a character.
But like the thing, he used to roll around in mud and get really dirty, so he smelled really bad.
For fuck's sake.
I think that's just weird.
I'd just be like, no, I'm not doing this.
Like, it's fair enough getting into the mindset of a character and like, becoming them for a while, but not becoming them to a point where you can't pull out of it when you're not in work.
Yeah.
I think that's just weird. There's things going on in their heads that just don't make sense. Do you know what I mean?
You have to,
the whole thing with
the
whole thing with Jim Carrey in Man in the Moon. He's playing Andy Kaufman, and he's like goes from there's a documentary on Netflix about it. It's just weird, man. He went off the rails in that film, like pretending he was him. And when you're playing someone else, not a fictional character, that's kind of when it tips to the point of like insanity. I don't know, but I don't think he was method acted in this, but it was a good performance.
I have a good question. Right?
Oscar worthy, as you said.
I have a good question for this. Very good question. Him or Heath Ledger? In fact, actually, while we're doing this, let's just rank our Jokers now.
You can go first because mine's quite controversial. All right.
I'd have to include. I mean, Mark Hamill's 100% top for me.
Number one. Yeah.
Yeah, just purely because he's voiced the Joker in so many.
Obviously, only rate ones you've seen as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, you can't rate something you haven't seen, but
oh yeah, of course.
Be honest.
I'd go Heath Ledger. This is going to be a controversial one.
Okay.
Because I'd go Heath Ledger, probably second. Then I'd go with. He's gonna be. I'm gonna say Cameron Monaghan from.
No, that's fine.
From Gotham.
He was great.
And then Joaquin Phoenix.
And then Jack Nicholson.
And then Jack Nicholson. Yeah. Jack Nicholson. I forgot about Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. The OG. He's not the OG.
He's really good. I think there are a lot of good. There are a lot of very good Joker performances. The only one that's really bad is Jared Leto. If I'm being honest,
he's not even on the list.
Yeah,
sorry,
exactly.
Mate.
He's the only one who's
weird.
really bad. I think that's what a lot of people don't really consider is if I say, "Oh, this one's better than the other one," they'll just be like, "Oh, he hates this one." It's like, no, that's not the truth at all.
That Joker,
they're all very good.
They really try to cater to a younger audience who had never really had their own Joker.
Exactly.
Like for like,
and he was very teen angsty, and it really fucked me off.
We grew up on. I mean, you'd say Dark Knight, but we were probably like what? Well, we probably grew up on Dark Knight in it. We're about 12 years old. That was our Joker. But we did have a bit of like Jack Nicholson. We grew up on Mark Hamill. Sorry, like if you watched the animated series.
The animated series. I watched the
animated
series.
And obviously he came back for the Arkham games, so we played a lot.
He was in a lot of stuff.
He's done a lot, and he's my number one by far. Just because I just love the way just love his voice for it. I don't love about the fact he does the same voice for a lot of characters he's doing recently.
Who? Mark Hamill?
He was kind of who he played in The Flash, but he used the same laugh.
Oh, he played the trickster.
The trickster, yeah. And he did something recently. He did voice acting for something recently, and it sounded exactly like the Joker. And it's just like, okay, you can't get away from that.
Wasn't he? Didn't he voice him in Batman Beyond as well?
I think he did, yeah.
I don't know actually,
but I put Joaquin second.
Fair.
You
think he's better than Heath Ledger?
Yeah. The main reason for me, I just prefer his style. I like the style of film this is. Like, I like the 80s set. But Dark Knight is great, but after watching this...
We're talking specifically about the character.
I know, but I like the character fits in with the setting so well. There's just like the way he acts, his mannerisms. He actually feels insane because it's, we're seeing his origin for starters, so it does give you a bit more of a backstory to it. I don't care the fact that you know his name. I don't give a shit. I don't get the whole fanboy thing of like you should never know Joker's name. Like no, just
because he's not meant to be a person. He's not meant to have an identity.
Maybe this isn't even the real Joker.
Yeah, we
maybe
discussed
this is
that
like
for possibility as well.
There's
same thing they did with Gotham.
Yeah.
Where it's not actually the real Joker. It's just like.
But this is like an alternative reality. So like a different Earth. You know how they have like the multiverses and shit. So this could be like. I think the film's a new 52. The new 52 kind of era of DC.
Yeah.
I think that's what they are now.
I think it's New 52 now.
But this is this could be like an alternate reality where the Joker, like, he actually has an origin.
But see, that's
and Batman
that's
doesn't
why,
exist, and that's why they should have kept the original ending.
Yeah, that's why I like
Or
the
the
fact
alleged-
that he would kill
Bruce.
at the end, because then it really becomes a reality.
It's a one timeline where Batman
because
never exists.
for this, the end of this film, it kind of just seems like it's just going to lead into Bruce being Batman, and I feel like that wouldn't suit this universe, Bruce being Batman, because it just wouldn't. And I think that's actually, now I'm realizing, that's probably the reason why I don't like the ending so much, is because a Batman in this universe wouldn't make sense, and they've kind of led us to believe that it's going to happen.
They should have stuck with that alleged.
Because the way they've set it up, a man flying around rooftop beating up criminals in a rubber suit is not going to make any sense in this universe.
Oh no way.
Because of the way they've set it up. So I think that's my bit. That's my gripe. I've been trying to find a way to word it recently, and like that is that.
I think after you've seen it for the second time as well.
Exactly. It's just the way they've made the universe feel. It just wouldn't. It would be very off-putting, very jarring to see Batman in it.
Let's fucking hope they don't do it then. Let's pray.
Don't
do it.
Oh,
we don't need it. We don't need a Batman in this DC.
They're going to set
Black
him up.
universe.
They're going to. I don't think he's going to be fully in the second film. I think he's going to be set up in the second film.
Just have a cameo. Ben Affleck's back.
Ben Affleck just appears. Like, I reckon
Just
this is going to be
Suicide Squad.
I reckon this is going to be a couple of years later, after Bruce Wayne has had, like,
yeah,
he's
as
tried
I
to find
said,
himself,
15 years later.
I don't even think it'll be 15 years later. I think this could be like 5 years later, and it'd be Bruce Wayne like 15 years old, and it would lead into the events that him becoming Batman. So similar to how it is in Gotham. I think they'll do that kind of time period. Yeah, he'll still be quite young, but he's getting older now, like, because they never really explore that kind of age bracket for Bruce Wayne, do they? He's either a kid, like 10 years old, or he's like 30. they never like explore like the 15 to 20 years old bracket, other than they did when they looked at it in Gotham, like.
Yeah, but it also makes me excited for the new Batman though. Just I'm looking forward to did you watch The Lighthouse with us the other night?
I watched a little bit of it, yeah.
Right, so you've seen that now.
I'm still not convinced.
Right, because obviously since the last time we've done an episode, right, you hadn't seen Good Time.
Yeah, Good Time was
pretty good. You haven't seen The Lighthouse. We didn't watch all The Lighthouse.
I think it didn't really convince me that you can play Batman.
No, but
either time.
Did it kind of give you a new kind of sense of his acting prowess in a way? You step aside, you don't think about Edward Cullen anymore. You think about, like, holy shit, he was so good in Good Time.
Yeah, kind of, but at the same time, I still don't think he has what it takes. I don't think he's the right fit for it. I think he's a very good actor, but Bruce Wayne is a very.
It's very interesting though. You must be intrigued a little bit to watch it because
I will be intrigued because I want to see how they actually like manage to pull it off
with Andy Serkis as Alfred. Yeah,
oh my God.
I mean, like, anything aside, right? The cast is pretty stacked. I'm excited for
Andy Serkis.
I'm just not sure that Andy Serkis is the right,
because they did it. Do you know what I noticed? They did it in this film as well. Is that they keep forgetting that Alfred's meant to be like he was meant to be like in the Marines. He was like he was a fucking legend. Alfred, like, he was a top fucking like fighter. He was in the fucking wars and shit. He's like a war veteran.
Yeah, well, I mean, Andy Serkis, he played Celius Claw. He's pretty fucking hard as fuck. Gollum. He knows what he's doing.
Oh, shut up.
Dude, fucking Caesar. Don't you dare. Sorry, I zoned out a second. I was looking at Batman stuff, but I'm back and I'm going to shit on you.
No.
Don't shit on
No. I'm sorry. Andy Serkis
he's too buff.
It's the same with
I want a frail Alfred, like the kind of one you'd put in a fucking freezer, like in Lara Croft. Just leave him there for the rest of the
No, but what I'm saying is he was in the Marines, Alfred. Alfred's he's a fucking fighter. He knows how to fight.
What if they brought Michael Caine back?
I like Michael Caine,
but he would be too.
Michael Caine's grizzly. He's fucking. He's Cockney.
He would be too old.
He'd be too old now.
Well, Andy Serkis has done Cockney in one film. Was he Cockney? No, is he new?
But what I'm saying is, you can believe that Michael Caine was in the army or he was in the Marines or something.
Yeah,
he's pretty like
he's
classy
hard,
and shit, but you can think he's like gritty and like rough.
Yeah, especially after watching Kingsman as well.
Yeah, who played him in Batman vs Superman? It was Jeremy Irons, wasn't it?
He was good.
He was good. He was good, but you can believe that he was. Like,
I think Jeremy Irons
a fighter.
would fit more in this film because of the age. I don't think he's that old. I think he's in his 60s.
I'm trying. Oh, who played him in Gotham? Sean Pertwee is quite a good one.
He was good. Yeah,
he was really good because he's very, very cockney.
He's very funny.
He was more
so
cockney
funny,
than Michael Caine. Yeah, he was so good. He was still quite old though, which I found kind of strange because Bruce Wayne was only meant to be like 16.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, that's the only like series that actually explores Bruce Wayne's teenage phase is Gotham. It kind of explores it because
but then we're going to get like a year one Batman now. Not like Batman Begins. That doesn't feel like a year one Batman.
No.
It feels like he should have been doing it years before he started. Like, he looked too old in the start of Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Like, he looked like 35.
Christian Bale was like, so he was like 40.
Yeah, he looks 40, and then when he's 39, he looked, 38, I don't know. Apparently, Robert Pattinson received advice from Christopher Nolan when he worked on Tenet. You know, the new film where him and John David Washington play like the like in altered timelines or whatever.
Oh yeah,
looked really interesting there. So he spoke to him about it. So that even helps. So apparently he spoke to Ben Affleck as well. So he's getting all his advice from all the actors. So I mean, if he could do a good job.
Ben Affleck only played him twice?
No, 4 times.
3 times.
4 times.
Oh yeah, but it doesn't really count in like Suicide Squad.
Superman, Justice League, Suicide. 3, yeah.
It doesn't really count in Suicide Squad because he was in it for like 4 seconds, and you didn't even see his face, did you?
No, he's the one who collected them all. He spoke to Will Smith.
Yeah, I know, but you don't really see his face, do you? He's wearing the Batman.
Yes, Ben Affleck though, and he was the bomb in Phantoms, yo.
But he was there for like 2 seconds. I think it's dark, and I like the fact that they use. There was one scene in particular that I really liked for the cinematography, and that was the scene where he's dancing in the public toilet.
Oh yeah,
because it's got like the really greeny bluish light, white light, like shining on him. But then there's like the light coming from outside is like overly orange and like really warm.
Yeah.
And there's another light above the greeny light that's
light.
That's really warm as well. And it's just such a like crazy contrast. And then the fact that both the lights hit the mirror at the same time, it's just fucking sick.
What do you think of the whole the laughter being part of his?
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. I think that's one of the only other aspects that I don't really like. Feels
a bit too forced.
I feel like it's a bit too forced.
It's a bit coincidental.
Yeah, is that oh yeah, of course the Joker has like a laughing.
But at the
disorder.
same time, I think because they're trying to do a realistic approach, that pathological laughing would make more sense than someone going insane and then laughing because they're insane. He's already laughing because he has this condition.
Yeah, I guess.
So it kind of gives a sense of realism to it, even though it is a bit coincidental. The fact that he becomes the Joker and has this manic laugh, it's kind of good to see that he always had it, always part of him anyway.
Yeah, true.
And his descent into madness is what makes it even more sinister. I think it's just incredible. Like, that's my take on it anyway. I don't know. I think it's really good, and I think he nails it as well. And I like the way he acts like a little like posh boy sometimes.
Yeah,
like. It's weird, and I don't know.
It's weird dancing as well.
It's weird dancing. I love
it. Serious crackhead behavior.
And then he looks all weird in the start and like just like homeless, but he looks so sick with the suit on at the end.
Yeah, he looks great.
That's like, where'd you get the suit? How does he afford that?
But see, the best makeup from it, right, was the when he lets the one clown go and he kills the other one in his apartment, and he's got the white.
Oh yeah,
paint
just the white paint.
Literally
got, like,
just
no
the
eyebrows,
white paint on his face,
the green hair,
and he's got the green hair. That's when he looked the best in this film,
in
my opinion. I think if all he would have needed was that stupid black eyeshadow, that Heath Ledger's one had as well, and it would have completely.
But at the same time, I think they wanted to do something
insane,
different than Heath Ledger's.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. But like,
I liked it because it's like his occupation at the time is was at the start of the film. He was like kind of a dancing clown for like kids, and like he did any odd jobs that required clowns to be involved. So it makes sense he's got more of that traditional clown kind of.
Yeah, of course. His confrontation with Thomas Wayne.
Oh, I know.
It's kind of, I think that's, like I said before, that's the only thing the only other thing. Well, one of the other things that annoyed me was they made the Waynes to be out as like horrible.
Hey, see, this is when I get to like when we get to like the scene where he's He punches him in the bathroom because he confronts him about
that's
being
what I
his
say,
dad.
him confronting Thomas Wayne.
Throughout the film, he rights all the wrongs, to kills all the people who wronged him in his own way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then them taking that alleged ending out the way where he kills Thomas and then Martha Wayne, who did nothing wrong.
Because that gives him closure as a character. That completes the arc. Is that he kills everyone that wrongs him.
Yeah, kind of like Arya in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember, but she doesn't actually fulfill her destiny, does she? She doesn't kill Cersei. She doesn't kill the
Arthur Stark.
Yeah, Arthur Fleck.
Arya Fleck. It works really well.
Arya Fleckin. No, yeah. Where the fuck did he get those cigarettes from?
I'm glad you started off with this again.
Because
we had a little bit of a break, but I'm glad you've started off with this again because this is the age-old question. The age-old question is where the hell does he get his cigarettes from?
Like,
because he has them in literally every scene. He's smoking somewhere, somehow. There's even a scene where he doesn't have a cigarette in one shot, and then he's smoking one. Yeah,
next shot is gone. Yeah,
he's a magician. He's a god, actually. He's the god of cigarettes.
No, it's even when he was in the hospital at the end, and he's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah,
and just out of nowhere, you're like, what the hell's going on? Yeah.
But the big reveal that she was just a figment of his imagination, pretty much.
Yeah, but she still existed, though.
Oh yeah, obviously she still existed. But what I'm saying is, like, he was, being delusional.
Yeah,
thinking she was there.
He's mental, isn't he?
Yeah, but like that big reveal. Now we've watched it back through again.
It's fairly obvious.
It's pretty obvious because she says stuff like, "Oh, you're so funny."
Yeah,
and it's just like
I think it's the bit where she's in the hospital with him that seemed weird.
Yeah, is when it started.
Even if they were like dating. Like, you wouldn't just bring the girl you're dating to see your mum in the hospital if you've never met your mum before.
Yeah.
That's just weird. And then they showed that montage, didn't they? Where it's just like, she never existed. And he's just like talking to himself. I know we've mentioned it, though.
What?
But if they would do a sequel, like, how would you like it to be? Because, I guess it is confirmed now, isn't it?
I would like if Batman was involved as little as possible. They can be
this film.
Yeah, I think then there can be. Look, there we go. There's the sirens. It can be. It can have some aspects of Batman in it, like some references to Batman, but I feel like
still be his own thing, maybe.
I feel like he's still as in like how in.
But I think with that though,
like say in Dark Knight Rises, what's it called? Is his like code name at the end is Robin.
Yeah.
And it's something small like that, where he's not actually like the character. It's just a nice little,
He becomes a character at the end, like.
But like he was clearly not Robin, is what I'm saying. But like, there's a nice little nod to the fact that Robin exists in other universes. Something like that would be nice. Like they take some aspects of the Batman like mythos and just put it all together.
Maybe would you reckon they'd add like another character, like another villain or something?
Maybe another villain. I think would be alright.
Would you put in it?
Oh, with the Joker.
Like the obvious would be Harley Quinn, but I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
we don't need that. We got Harley Quinn from.
We don't need that again.
No, I just don't think she'd fit in this particular thing. It's just too like, it's a bit before her time as well. I mean, if they did 5 years from now, she still wouldn't be, because I think she made, I'm based on her debut, which was like 1993, I think.
Yeah, Joker was already.
And that would make sense. You could check her in the 90s, because that'd be kind of like, if they made a third film, she should appear in it. But like, neither of them are like crazy in that sense. They're just kind of more, I don't know, mentally
actual
ill
people. Yeah,
yeah. Because this is quite grounded. Like, the Joker thing, he's just manic, isn't he? Like, his insanity is a bit too extreme. And it's just unrealistic, but this is kind of realistic because he's been driven to this point. But obviously he is a bit, fucked anyway. But obviously it just wouldn't exist with that too comical kind of Joker. So
I'm trying to work out.
You'd have to die Harley Quinn down a little bit.
Yeah,
but Margot Robbie's doing a great job of doing that. Like, because I think she was great, dude.
She's okay. I think it made her look better because the movie was awful.
I think she's one
It's
of
the
the.
same
I think
with
she's
Will
one of the
Smith.
best. Well, Will Smith was good, but I just like he's not coming back for the James Gunn film, so
Is he not?
he's not. No, only a few. Only a few. Handful. Only a handful are coming back. Yeah, so Margot Robbie, I think Jai Courtney.
I think Jai Courtney was good.
Who plays Captain Boomerang?
Captain Boomerang, yeah.
The fucking no.
Is Jai Courtney?
Jai Courtney is
No, he does play Captain Boomerang, doesn't he?
Oh shit! It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Viola Davis is back as Amanda Waller,
Yeah.
and then the rest obviously quite new cast, but
Cara Delevingne's in it as well, isn't she?
no.
Wait, it's not. Wait, it's not Cara Delevingne.
No,
it's,
the sequel now, the James Gunn. The
oh
new one
wait,
he's
she's just
making.
not going to be in it. Okay, right. Never
No,
mind.
no, she's gone. Deadshot's gone. Most of the characters are gone. They just kept the ones that like had meaning.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because Will Smith didn't really have much of a story apart from just a thing with him and his daughter. It just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, true.
Like at least Harley Quinn.
They're just going to focus on Harley Quinn now because it's more marketable, isn't it? Like,
well, it's because she was the best thing about that film. That's the thing. See,
no, but also
Viola
just,
Davis was incredible.
but also just because of Harley Quinn's the character itself, Harley Quinn. Nobody wants to go and see a Deadshot film. People will go and see a Harley Quinn film.
oh, hands down, yeah.
Like it's
Oh, she'll make
she's
more bank
definitely
as
the more,
well, you
she's
know,
definitely
she's
the more
gonna-
popular character.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know Deadshot was.
Yeah, exactly. That's my thing.
I mean, and Deathstroke as
see,
well.
I was gonna say put Deathstroke in the
Deathstroke is fucking
in
sick.
the next Joker film, but I still don't think.
He would work, actually. He would work.
I don't know if Deathstroke would work.
No, I could see it.
Do you know who they could put in? Would work. The Penguin would work. Penguin would work very well because he's not superpowered. He's just a mob boss.
He could end up working for Penguin,
Yeah.
and then he obviously makes his rank as like the crime
Yeah.
prince of Gotham.
Yeah, exactly.
So like
No,
he gets
and
there, like,
you'd have Carmine
still
Falcone as well and stuff like that. You could start because they're real characters. They don't
so
have any
he's
superpowers.
still like he's the Joker now, but like he's still got to gain that like kind of like confidence and think he's getting there. But I don't think at the end of the first film he could be, maybe the end like yeah you
maybe
could, like,
maybe one
he
of
could
them
beat the Penguin and be like
yeah maybe Falcone or Penguin like contact him about because of his antics and stuff like that.
yeah they need him as like a
Yeah,
because
That would be sick.
he's not quite smart.
But you could have
And-
all of those
yes,
gangster
no.
characters in it.
Yeah,
All of the gangster characters will work. Maroni, the Penguin, Falcone. They would all work.
Riddler. Would you say he's a bit like?
I feel like the Riddler is a bit too campy of a character to have in this kind of universe. Because it's all about these like lame riddles and stuff like that. It just wouldn't be something that happens like. In
That's a
reality.
fair point,
You
but
know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, I'd love it. It'd be great, but like, I just don't think.
Yeah, I'm
it's
trying
right.
to think how it would like contrast Arthur Fleck in it. Right, so what I want to do, I want to bring back another recurrent segment,
Yeah, go on.
rotten reviews. And there's some good ones here as well. We'll get right into this. All right, ready for the first one?
Go on.
This film was a Joker cosplay more than Joker, a cipher elevated to savior by the disenfranchised and angry. It is not only a bad joke, but also a sad joke.
I kind of understand the first sentence. The film was a Joker cosplay more than Joker, because I kind of see that because it's for me it's not he doesn't really play like the Joker.
Yeah.
He kind of plays a different like a different like I wouldn't even say a different version of the Joker. There are some scenes like the scene in the apartment where the two where he kills the two other clowns, or he kills one of the other two other clowns.
Yes,
He lets
that's
the
the
other
one
one
guy,
go. Is incredible on that one. That bit for me is the bit like the most Joker part of the film.
Yeah, because you said about the makeup and it with the the all white face and the green hair.
Insane, yeah.
It's like ghostly, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's clown makeup, but it's not like. I feel like his final makeup that he has on isn't like threatening enough.
Yeah.
It's still just standard clown makeup.
I think right now he's just trying to blend in, and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
you might figure out like a new type of, you might alter it in it. I don't think he'll go kind of like full comic book style.
Yeah.
I think he'll stay his
of
own
course.
kind of like
But I would like it if it stayed like this.
yeah. Right. So the next one. So the result of these creative decisions, however, is that whatever power Joker as a pop culture icon might wield, Joker as a movie feels tough.
I get that because there's a lot of people have seen how the Joker has been recently.
Yeah.
In a lot of the last couple of films or the last couple of like, say like even if it was in the Gotham TV show or in any of the last couple of films, it's always been a similar kind of Joker.
Yeah.
And this one is quite far removed from those.
I think it's just because feels it's put more in a realistic setting rather than the other ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not really a comic book movie.
Yeah.
It just takes a character and kind of elements from the Batman.
Yeah, which is
series.
why I said before I think it shouldn't have been. It didn't need to be a Joker film.
Yeah.
I think if it was something else and it was just a guy who had the same thing.
It's a gritty take on it.
Oh yeah,
it's such an original take as well. I do enjoy it though.
Oh, I like it.
I mean, it's one of my favorite films of 2019 by far. I think we did that, didn't we? We did our favorite films. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned Joker actually.
I think Joker's my second, maybe. Anyway, on to a third one. We got it's an incredibly heavy film. It's well done, but it's heavy and leaves the viewer feeling like they've just gone 10 rounds in a heavyweight boxing match. It's mentally exhausting and desperately dark.
I get that, but I don't think it's a bad thing, really.
Yeah.
Some films just are like that, where they're just a bit intense and wild. So, like, yeah, I get that, but also I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah, I that's the whole tone of it.
That's
mate.
the whole. Yeah, that's
it's
the
supposed
point.
to be intense. It's supposed to be like gut wrenching. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every step he goes, it just gets more and more like just.
Like
you don't know when it's going to.
The whole point of it is Arthur Fleck never really has any time to rest.
You're still waiting for him to become the Joker, and he just keeps pushing him. So it does feel like a boxing match.
But like he never has a rest or anything. He never, and that's just the
doesn't eat. He doesn't. Yeah,
but that's just his life. That's the tone of his life. Is that it's all very quick and very one problem after another, and nothing ever stops. He never gets any like
till he gets his like when he wins. By
it just
gets
from bad goes from bad to worse for him, and that's just how it is. There's never going to be any quiet moments.
This is a good one for you. I know you like this one.
Right.
Where did the Joker come from? What's up with the clown shtick? Is his mom named Martha? All these questions and more are answered differently by director Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix. It only takes 2 ponderous hours.
Wait.
What do you think of that? Was his mom called Martha? I don't think it was.
No. I don't think she was actually. No, she wasn't. There's no way.
I don't think this guy liked the film at all. Man.
We would have.
I don't think he liked it.
We would have seen it. We would have seen it if.
What's up with the clown shtick? I mean, have you what?
I mean, he's what? He's the Joker.
Where did the Joker come from? What's up with the clown shtick? What's he asking for? Like, it's clear with the clown shtick.
Yeah.
Only he's the Joker, and that was his job.
He's a clown.
Where did the Joker coming from? I'm guessing Gotham. No one knows who his parents are. But, we might find out that in episode 9, Rise of the Joker, innit?
Episode 9, Rise of the Joker.
Right, I'll do one more. It is over before he begins because there is no other possible outcomes that we eventually arrive at. And Philip and Silver don't give us an interesting enough trajectory to make up for that loss.
I get that, actually. That's a fair point, I think.
You reckon?
Yeah. Because we know exactly where he's going the entire way along, and it's also very obvious, and it all happens very quickly.
That's a good point. I mean, they do try to like
he does one comedy show.
I think when you think about it, actually, the kind of structure of it,
he goes
probably the only structure you could possibly do for this kind of origin.
Yeah.
Because he's going to eventually become the Joker. He has to.
Yeah.
Right? Unless he dies.
But stuff like, he does one comedy show, and it just so happens that his video gets sent through to...
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, there's enough.
It's all very circumstantial.
And the fact that he gets asked to come on like weeks after it's been aired.
Yeah.
Like it was like a few weeks. I think he said, the scene where he's on Mario Franklin's show. He's like, it's been weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I actually.
It's all very convenient.
That's a fair one. Yeah, it's quite convenient. But I mean, like, is it entertaining though?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's very entertaining. I do understand that point, and I think it's a very valid point. But I also think it's still quite an entertaining.
There's one thing I think like this is a kind of like example of what I'm trying to get at is. I think a lot of people, I know it's important to films, right? But I see films as like, a whole art piece. So obviously there's separate sections. So like, the cinematography, you've got the acting, you've got costume, just all the little bits like,
Yeah.
different categories, I guess. I think if the story lacks, I think it puts a lot of people off, because obviously that's not a lot people do go to see. But then once you start seeing the other aspects of it in like a bigger kind of place than you would just putting story as the main focus,
Yeah.
I think you can appreciate it more. Because I mean, the story isn't that great for what it is. I mean, it's a tough fucking story to crack. Do you know what I mean? I think they did pretty well.
It will
But
happen.
it's still gonna feel really odd.
It happens too quickly. It feels
no
like
one
there's
really knows
bits
the
missed
Joker's
out.
origin.
Yeah.
They made this one up, and it's like, okay, they did a brilliant job of doing it, but it just didn't need to be made.
Yeah. For me, it's just a bit convenient how he suddenly gets on the Murray Franklin show. He gets exactly exactly where he wanted to be at the beginning of the film.
It's a bit convenient.
Like where he wanted to be at the beginning of the film, he dreamed of being on the show with Murray Franklin, and then he goes on to the show with Murray Franklin and kills him. Like, it's all very like, yeah. It just so happens that he's the one person in the world who wanted to fucking kill Murray Franklin, and he got the chance to do it. Like, so what do you think of the interview scene then? Or that entire sequence, the interview with Murray Franklin?
Probably one of the best sequences, I reckon.
Nah, I think it's one of the worst in the film, if I'm being honest. Actually, no, you know what? No, that's harsh, because the first part's actually quite good. It's when he gets to the point where he starts telling jokes. I'm like, oh god, no. This is awful. And then there's the bit where he says, "What do you get if you cross a mentally ill loner with whatever he fucking said afterwards?" I was like,
society doesn't care about you.
I was like, oh,
you'll
fuck
get
off.
what you fucking deserve.
I was like, oh, fuck off. Stop fucking like, it's so preachy and so on the nose. It's like, fuck off.
Right, anyway, let's finish up.
Tidy.
Thanks for doing it again.
It's always been a pleasure.
You know it. Go do the FOD. Just check us out on all social medias. The Conversation Is podcast. Check us out on YouTube on HillRat Productions. Yeah, just do all that stuff, innit? So we roll. Alright, see you later then.
See you later. Bye-bye.